folks, welcome to the channel, Thinking Theology. I'm Don. I'm taking a look at a video, I haven't seen it, Richard Dawkins' refusal to revise his book, The God Delusion. I don't know when this came out, it would have been a little bit ago, but let's find out. I didn't know, well, I know that there would be a controversy around it because I know theists or religionists, whether Christian or Jew, would have taken exception to just the concept that there's no God. I haven't read Dawkins' book. Maybe I will one day. But let's see who is saying what. I watched about the first minute of this, and I didn't get the sense that this person was like a hardcore fundamentalist Christian, for example, who can be insufferable, not because they believe in God, but just because of the way they stand in their beliefs. That and atheists can be insufferable as well. Anybody can be enjoyable. Anybody can be insufferable on either side of the aisle, so to speak. All right, let's see what we got here. Dr. Craig, who's that?
I think the problem with the book, The God Delusion, is that Dawkins offers very superficial responses to traditional theistic arguments, like the cosmological argument, the argument for design, the moral argument, the ontological argument, and that when his missteps and fallacies are pointed out, rather than correcting them, he just ignores his critics. Wow. And as Mike, professionally, we have a responsibility to respond to our critics. If our critics publish a journal article in which our views are criticized, we either need to change our views or we need to respond to our critics. But True. We cannot responsibly just pretend as though those objections have never been offered and continue to restate and repeat the same original arguments. And I think that's what Alex meant when he said, does it need to be rewritten and put out in a new edition? Because Dawkins has been thoroughly and ruthlessly criticized, not only by Christians, but also by non-Christians, people like Michael Roos.
Yeah, I had him in mind.
Daniel Kame have said that the book is scandalous, that it's so poorly done. And
that is one of the things, even in Christian circles, where Christians will criticize other Christians for not believing the right way. But that's where like open discussion and accepting that we don't have all the answers, regardless of what world we run in, we don't know it all, even within our own little corner of the world. And so I get the line of thinking here that if somebody does challenge, like here, evidently Michael Roos, I'm not sure who he is. I'm sure I'll find out at some point, but he thought this book was not well done because if you're going to make a good point, don't damage the whole lot of us. Like, if you're going to put out a book, don't make us all look bad by having it be weak. That's something that when I used to run in Christian circles and pretty fundamentalist ones, I had written a book against the doctrine of the Trinity. I just thought and still do think on a number of levels that it is just, as a matter of logical reason, an abomination, if you will. It makes zero sense on so many levels. I don't care if people believe it. I know very beautiful, wonderful, kind people who do believe it, who I'm friends with. I couldn't care less. It doesn't faze me. But as a matter of thought, it's just what people choose to believe. It isn't based in any sense of reason. And that's been admitted by many Trinitarians over the years. I use that as an example just to say that even within Christian circles, Christians disagree with one another. In the Jewish circles, some Jews think like Hasidim and the Orthodox don't think that Reform Jews are Jewish enough. And so there's this infighting, if you will, but the groups tend to stay separate. But in the atheistic circles, it's like, dude, if you're going to put out a book that's going to be really popular, it's going to get out there, and you've got weak arguments in it, it's going to make me look bad. There's going to be the overflow by association.
Yet he will not respond to his critics or revise his arguments. He just repeats himself again and again.
Now, Michael Roos, he's an atheist philosopher of science at Florida State University, right?
Yes, that's correct. I think you might be more accurate to say he's an agnostic, but
Agnostic.
he's
Okay.
practically an atheist.
Well, here's what he said in an article that someone can say online. You can read it online. He says, unlike the new atheists, I take scholarship seriously. I have written that the God delusion made me ashamed to be an atheist, and I
There you
meant
go.
it. End quote.
Yeah.
Now, I don't. That's Roos. Now, I don't mean to sound nasty here, but is
It's
it
going to sound
possible that
nasty.
Dawkins' positive view of his own book is delusory?
Well, the way you defined what a delusion is, namely persisting in a belief despite having conclusive evidence to the contrary, would seem to suggest that, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, I guess fair game. I mean, Dawkins did and does go about criticizing people pretty harshly. So I guess if somebody's going to call him delusional based on that definition, I guess fair game. It's not my style. I'm not big on name calling. I just like to look at how arguments are made. In a big way, I like to hear other arguments because if they're better than mine or they show me where I need to modify my own, then I will. So I don't care who the arguments come from. If they're better than mine or certainly worth considering, I'm on board with it. And that, I guess, is the mark of a philosopher, because I was a philosophy major. I majored in it when I was at Rutgers, and I've still held on to my penchant for looking at bigger ideas, different ideas, more refined ideas. I get tired of my own ideas. And not because I necessarily think that they're wrong. I just know what they are. I want to hear something new, different, not merely for the sake of having new or different ideas, but so that, I mean, curiosity is very enlivening. And hearing some new experiment that had been done or some new discovery, or what does James Webb spit? What does it mean that galaxies are redshifting? What does that mean for the theory of relativity? And, all of this, like galaxies traveling away from us faster than the speed of light, which is supposed to be impossible according to Einstein. What does it mean? It's exciting. It's a matter of curiosity, and enlivening is the best way I could put it. So the idea that you think when people settle on something that's so absolutely right, like whether it's in religion, whether it's in science, whether it's in politics, whether it's in anything, and they're just like, this is it, they've given up the intellectual pursuit, because there is no way that I don't even make claims of knowledge. I make claims of belief, because those to me are generally unassailable. When somebody says, I believe this, I've got no grounds for assailing them on that. Even if I disagree with it, it's fine. And if I say, I believe X, Y, and Z, that's just true. But if I say, I know that X, Y, and Z is true, then that's where some trouble begins epistemologically. And to me, if I say that, I basically quit the pursuit. So of whatever that field may be. Yeah, I don't know who these folks are in this video. I didn't get the sense that they were overtly religious. They may have been, but I think this was it's fair game. I mean, no human being is a god. No human being should be deified. And if somebody writes a book called The God Delusion, well, they're going to be open to criticism, because the more popular you get, the more people are coming for you. And if there are flaws in your work, they're going to be discovered. And they might even be discovered by people in your own family or of your own stripe. All right, there you go. That's how it works. All right, folks, that was fun. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep thinking theology. Hey, folks, if you want to take the personality test that I created for my life coaching practice, which is based on the book that I wrote, put your phone up, turn it on camera, and focus on this, and it'll take you to it. And it'll take you about 20 minutes to complete the test. It's free, and you'll get some information on your personality. It's quite detailed, quite revealing. It's kind of fun as well. And I'll be leaving this QR code up on the wall behind me for my regular videos. So I hope you take it, and I hope you enjoy it.